Could you describe yourself without using descriptors like roles or labels you use in your life, like mom or let's say a real estate broker, things like that? Could you easily still describe who you are? Or if someone says, tell me about yourself or describe something about you so that I know you a little bit better. Are you someone who's like, I don't know, or like you feel a little lost, or maybe you just find yourself pausing when people ask you to tell a little bit about yourself? And it might be because your first thought is, I don't really know who I am. Like, besides like what I've been told, like I'm a daughter, I'm a son, I'm a student, I'm a banker, I'm a mother, a father. Those are all roles that we assume and take on as we go through life. And so I just was thinking about this, and I had a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about like knowing ourselves. And have you thought about when you've met somebody who just seems like they're just so like confident and sure in themselves, and like, they're doing things they're really passionate about, or they just seem to know what they want and do it? I find myself very magnetized to people like this. And so I thought I'd do a little bit of an episode on this. So today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why it's important for you to know thyself, yourself. So I am Erica, and I'm your host of Powered by Joy podcast. And I am someone who loves to help others consider different ways of making change in their life and doing it through perhaps ways that maybe feel more easeful and with more joy and maybe play and curiosity, instead of like muscling through it the hard way and things feeling difficult, or like you just feel stuck and like you can't make change. I love to talk about all those ideas here. So if that sounds like something you want more of, then you're in the right place, my friends. So let's dive right in. So number 1 top reason or benefit of knowing yourself would be that making decisions in your life for yourself becomes so much easier when you know who you are. And that means in every area of your life. So the more clear you are in different areas of your life about who you are and what's important to you, when you have an opportunity to make a choice of like, let's say, deciding to be somebody that identifies and values their health and vitality and energy. So now you are somebody who starts taking on a workout regimen. And so you have the choice of, do I want to join the gym and start to become that person because I really value feeling good in my body and having energy? So that makes it easy for you. You're like, yep, that's important to me. Well, then yes, I'm going to go join the gym, or I'm going to make time to go take walks. But when you are clear on who you are, it falls over into every area of your lives that you can make decisions quicker and easier because you're clear on what's important to you and who you are. And so therefore you can align your decisions. Sometimes we don't, and that's when we start to lose confidence or question ourselves or feel like maybe we don't really know ourselves, is when we're not learning by tuning in and going, I'm not sure how I feel about that. And maybe I've always just looked to everybody else to kind of give me the feedback to make those kinds of decisions. So it's not saying, okay, the benefit is that I'm going to always make the decision that's best for me. It's about making the best decisions by knowing yourself for yourself, not based on what other people tell you would be best for you. That does not mean you're not considering the effect of your choices on other people. That's not the same thing. So don't take it that way either. But when you really know yourself, you have a more easeful time of making decisions that align with who you are. Okay, so let me jump to number 2. When you have the benefit of knowing yourself, one of the reasons it's important is because it actually magnetizes people or repels people away from you. You will energetically attract people based on you moving through life, knowing who you are and making decisions that align with that. Will naturally call in experiences that align to that, and also things that or people who align to that. And then the more I have found that you do become yourself, you often become somebody who repels people, or people just start to fall away out of your life that maybe feel more draining to you because you guys just don't value the same things. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe they're like, I love motorsports, but you might be like, I love football. That there's nothing wrong with either of those. I'm just going to probably be more magnetized into a conversation with somebody who likes to talk about cars or motorcycles, then I'm going to be like, ooh, let's talk about football because I don't know very much about it and I don't feel passionate about it. So perfect example of like, you will repel people. If you're talking about motorsports all the time, they're like, I don't really care about this stuff. You'll start to repel those people too. So just an example of the benefit is that you become a magnet or repellent to the people and experiences and energy that aligns with who you are when you really know yourself and are acting and making choices in a way that aligns with how you feel you identify. Okay. So number 3 would be that it creates confidence. And like, who can't use some more confidence, right? I would say that this has been a huge help for me in that as I got to know myself more and started making choices easier and going, oh yeah, that felt good. That felt right. It aligns and my stomach feels good. I don't feel tight in my chest because I'm making a choice because I know what's important to me, then it creates confidence. So then when I'm making other choices, like I feel confident that I'm going to make the right choice, or at least try to get the right information to make the right choice, because I know myself better. So I know what's important to me. I know what my values are, and I know what I don't want to be experiencing, and I know what I want less of, and I know what I want more of. And having that massive clarity about what I value and what's important to me helps me live that dream life or that desired life and draw in and magnetize all those experiences, and having all of that build on itself, it creates confidence. And confidence in every area of your life, you can use confidence because it expands you and grows you. And so think about relationships. If you show up as a more confident person because you know yourself and what's important to you, you're going to be able to show up in relationships in a completely different way that people are either attracted to or repelled by. And it gives you confidence to go, yep, they might not be my person. Confidence in your health and vitality. If you are like, yeah, I'm aligned to the things that I feel are important to me and I'm taking care of my body and getting energy, that's going to build confidence. It falls over into work, like in your career, and having confidence in who you are when you show up to your business or your job or your hobbies, all of that. It just translates everywhere. So who doesn't want to show up in a more confident way? Because let's be real, when you are around that person, don't you enjoy it or just feel a little bit more drawn to them or feel at least curious about them? I always feel massive curiosity when I get within a certain distance of someone or I come across them. I'm like, ooh, they seem so dialed in and so in themselves and confident and passionate and doing all these things. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like right there wanting to know all about them, right? And connect with them. So those are 3 huge benefits of knowing yourself. But you might be going, that's all great, but I do not know where to start to get to know myself. I'm kind of confused. So if you're somebody who has felt like you've probably either not explored this idea at all because you've been so busy just doing life and surviving or parenting or sistering or whatever roles you have and have taken on, you might not really know where to start. And unfortunately, oftentimes we are most often barraged with things from social media, videos, TV, all this media that comes into our lives can plant seeds of like, oh, this is who I'm supposed to be, instead of actually like tuning in and going, these are things that are actually really important to me. I don't actually agree with that influencer or that guy I've been following on Instagram or that YouTube channel that I watch all the time. I don't actually really agree with everything they're saying. So I would like to offer 3 tools for starting to just go on this exploration that I actually found super helpful, and just trying to see like what makes me tick, what's really important to me. And so number 1 was I was always loving the whole personality test thing. So I took the DISC personality test where it tells you about who you are and maybe how you make decisions and where you're most comfortable. There's the wealth dynamics test you can take, and it tells you how you interrelate and where your strengths are within business and career to create more wealth. It can be the PCM test, which is like the processing communication module, where you learn how you communicate, why you communicate, and how to communicate better to deal with your like childhood wounds and issues that you have, and the communication style you were taught when you were little. And I'm trying to think, there's a couple others out there. There's Enneagram. So there's tons and tons of personality tests out there. And just using curiosity and kind of a playful spirit about a lot of these you can Google and find free, but there's also other resources for some of these because they're much more in depth. And I have a community page, community resources, and I have practitioners that I work with that often offer some of these modalities as well if you want further interpretation to kind of explore and learn about your communication style or other pieces of your personality. So that's another resource there. So number 2 is exploring things around your different charts. So this would be like your birth chart. So that's related to where the planets and everything's aligned and the stars at the exact time and day and place you are born. And there's so many interesting things you can learn and go, oh yeah, I identify with that. And this might not be for everybody. That's okay. I'm giving you tools to try from this. Think of this like a menu. But if it's something that you're like, I'll check it out, it's something that's available. So beyond your birth chart, there's human design charts, there's gene keys, there's all sorts of tools in that realm that I found maybe didn't necessarily tell me who I am as much as affirmed that I'm totally living out my life in a way that aligns with like what it shows I was going to according to my birth chart, my time, my date, and my place of birth. And it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I am doing me really well. Good job, self. So those have been a fun tool that has given me kind of like a different confidence and affirmed my path in life. And that's even seen like me doing a podcast and helping other people has very much shown up in my charts. So I love seeing that going, yes, me stepping into this work is in my chart, in my path. And it's something that I was born and made for. So I love that. And it just really gives me confidence. So my third easy, accessible tool you can grab is my tool that I developed around your core values. So you might be like, what's core values? These are the things that you find most important. So maybe family, honesty, health, it can be connection, it can be relationships, it can be any sort of values. And you can easily Google core values just to get lots of words. It might be that integrity is super important to you, or being really motivated or driven, or it could be the competition is a huge high value for you if you like to be competing all the time. So finding out what your core values are really helps with that decision making, in my opinion. And so I developed that. It's a core values blueprint that is on my website that you can access, and you just sign up and you can get that. And it's a tool, it's an exercise you run through, and it takes 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes to do. And it will help you get some clarity if you're like, I really don't know what my core values are. I don't know where to start. It's a great starting place to kind of get you thinking. And so I love seeing people use that and go, oh, yep, okay, that makes sense. So I will have all of the information for all of these resources in my show notes, and on the charts like human design and things like that. I have my community resources page I already mentioned, that I have practitioners that offer these and offer interpretation and guidance through learning about those charts as well. So just make sure you're using my website as a powerful resource for learning to know thyself and benefit. So I want you to hear this and see if you notice a difference. We're just going to wrap it up with, if I were to say, hi, I'm Erica. I'm a mom, I am a grandma, and I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, now here's my second introduction. Hi, I'm Erica. I am super passionate about empowering others to make change in their life and experience it through doing things that are more joyful, playful curiosity, using connection and adventure. And I love that I am living my life to the fullest because I love connecting and making memories around joy with my family and friends because they are so important to me. I'm so passionate about making memories with my loved ones. So, which one tells you more about me? Which one are you maybe going to have the ability to ask more questions, or might make you more curious, or you're like, I can identify. I love the thought of more joy in my life. Or you might be like, well, this lady is too much. But if I'm telling you I'm a mom and a grandma, that really doesn't tell you a lot about who I am and what I am passionate about and what matters to me, what my core values are. But me telling you, like, I love empowering others. I love seeking learning, curiosity, joy, and making adventures and making memories with my family and friends and my loved ones being so important. You're going to know what matters to me. If I introduce myself and start talking about that first, you're going to have a much better understanding of who I am. And then I get to either magnetize you into my world or repel you out because we don't align. Isn't that beautiful? So I just want to give that little example of like how powerful it is to be able to dive in and talk about who you are. When you feel a little bit more familiar, you know yourself. There are big benefits. So it's worth doing the work. I love helping people dive into this as usual. So if you know somebody, you're like, yeah, I think they might want to use these tools or this might help them, especially as we're going into the new year and we're trying to identify what we want to experience going into the next year. This is always helpful because then when you're planning that year ahead and you're like, I kind of want to feel different at the end of next year. What would that look like? Who would I need to be and identify as? These are tools that could help you shape your next year ahead or who you want to be. So I want to be that resource for you. This is what I'm good at and passionate about. So please reach out and contact me through the show notes if you need help with any of this. And of course, check out my website for any upcoming events where we're connecting and playing, including my play dates for ladies. And we have some upcoming classes that I'm going to be announcing soon too. So thank you for showing up. Please like, follow, share all the things, and I will see you soon. Mwah!